Treading water with Tim and Joel, calling it in the ring. That's what we're doing. That's what all of wrestling's doing. It's all good. Hello,
buddy. We are treading water. This is I'm staying in the beautiful city of Akron, Ohio.
Akron. I thought you were in Cleveland.
I was in Cleveland yesterday, and we made our way to Akron today.
Okay. It's a shame. Apparently, according to 30 Rock, Cleveland is heavenly.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Okay. But it wasn't. Yeah. It doesn't matter. Well, I mean,
it is Cleveland.
We can talk about the Cleveland stuff, but
did you meet Drew Carey? Is he just out there looking sad and old now?
Just like the ultimate person out there doing their thing. Yeah, you're gonna hear people in the background because guess what? It's a creator house this weekend, and we've got. I'm staying with Denise Salcedo, so she's doing a show with Will right now at the same time. I'm not going to give them free publicity. That's as good as it's going to get.
You stay right here. You keep your ass in the seat, looking at us, looking at me
move. That's
in my big cans, unshaven, doing the bare minimum.
I'm going to be so thrown off by this show because I'm not wearing noise canceling headphones. I can hear everything and everyone. So here we go.
Yeah, I'm just all furry. My other headphones, they're not far. They're just in this closet, but they're packed away, and that's too much. That's too much. So
it's true. You know, it's not too much. Tossing a thumbs up on this video.
Very little.
It takes nothing, no time. Just do it, and you can leave a comment here. You can hang out with us in the chat if you're here. Hello, good to see you. Nice to meet you. And you just subscribe to us here at Fightful Overbooked because guess what? We're dropping content all the time. That's what we do. And if you want to support us, you can support us financially as well with a super chat. It's that little $ in the youtube.com/Fightful Overbooked window on the chat. Lets you give any amount to support us here at Fightful Overbooked, our self-sufficient, self-funded endeavor. And we got a Discord. There's a link in the description. Go join the Discord. Don't tell Sean Ross Sapp. He won't believe it anyway if we tell you that we have a Discord. Tim, I went to the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame yesterday.
That sucks.
Actually, it wasn't so bad. I mean, I enjoyed it. You know what? So, I don't know if everyone else knows, but since the pandemic, and since I had a kid, like I haven't had a ton of time to be a musician, right? I haven't picked up my guitar as much. I've been kind of slacking, which sucks. But the good news is, I've been slowly trying to get back into it and trying to get myself playing more. So at the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, on the second floor, they have what they call the garage. And in the garage, you can sit there and like you can learn an instrument or you can jam with some employees who are like just there to be the house band. So
I did not know that. That actually sounds very fun.
It was actually it was kind of fun. So like I went in, I sat in with the house band for a couple of tunes, and that was my first time playing live in front of people since like the pandemic. And you know what? It was a blast. And I really enjoyed myself doing that. So it was a nice welcome escape from like all the stuff that we do here where we're sitting in front of our cameras, in front of a webcam and talking about wrestling. It was a nice welcome change. So it was
fun as hell. Yeah, I didn't know that they had that.
Yeah, and then we made our way over to the place we're staying for the weekend. We're here for Jeremy Lambert's wedding. It's going to be a blast later on. But this is a totally different experience for all of us, as we're all talking at the same time in different rooms. Tim, we have a lot of wrestling to talk about. You want to talk about wrestling?
Yeah, we can talk about some wrestling. I watched the wrestling.
Where do you want to start?
Oh, let's just start with Raw. Honestly, Raw and Dynamite more in my head than SmackDown and Rampage, despite them being just Friday. Like I don't know.
SmackDown was largely inconsequential. It was just
fine.
Happened.
They advanced the Dupree stuff, which is like what everyone like the schmarm coming out of people's mouths. It's like, no, I don't know. I hope they keep the maximum male models gimmick. I don't care either way if LA Knight comes back or Max Dupree sticks around because they're the same man with more or less the same gimmick. So like I'm fine as long as I keep seeing LA Knight, some type guy.
The Sami stuff is what I'm loving right now. We're going to talk about that. We're going to dig into the Sami and the Bloodline stuff because there's just been a lot of development that I think is adding extra layers to those of us who like to talk about the storytelling in wrestling. And I'm excited for that because I have my ideas and I know other people have been giving out there. So we'll kind of dissect where it's going and what we think might be happening. I'm sure about that. But yeah, if you want to talk about Raw, I mean, right off the bat, they had that promo with Damage Control and Bianca and everyone coming out. And eventually we found out that they're going to do Bayley versus Bianca at Extreme Rules in a ladder match for the Raw Women's Championship. What do you think? I'm looking forward to that. It should be
same. Like I'm actually I'm really looking forward to Extreme Rules. Like they've done an interesting job building it. I don't think that like I think the Roman storyline is like the only thing that's like ultra compelling right now, but it's very serviceable. Like it's just the bar is on the floor at the moment for wrestling storylines. So like they are doing a good job to build Extreme Rules. I'm pretty interested in most of the matches.
Yeah, and honestly, if I take a look at the card, and I'm sure we'll take a quick look at it when we have it, Zach, but every match, like you said, is a different stipulation. That's what you would mention wanting to see. And eventually I came around and agreed with you completely on that. And I'm seeing, just like the old Extreme Rules, we're seeing different stipulations for different matches that by and large makes sense. I mean, doing a ladder match for the Raw Women's Championship is a little
out of nowhere.
Yeah, it's a little strange, but if it turns into something, I'm not against it. I have a feeling they're going to continue that into Hell in a Cell. Actually, maybe not, because Hell in a Cell happened in June this year.
Yeah.
So maybe not. My brain is like all frazzled as to when the pay-per-view calendar is. But that being said, like I see in the chat, they're saying Bayley's going to win because that way Bianca doesn't get pinned.
Yeah,
there's definitely room to do that, and we're going to find out really soon if that's the way you do it. Because Belair getting pinned, kind of an anomaly. It doesn't happen very often. So you get Bayley in a way she can cheat her way into win and set up War Games in November. So I don't know if they're going to run it back at Crown Jewel in Saudi, though. They could.
Maybe. I don't see. Yeah, I don't know if that happens. I don't think we do a flip flop. I think Bayley retains, but
just set her up as a more dominant champion, and it's just like the Raw Women's Championship and the tag team championships are all on Damage Control, and they're just pulling the trigger, getting it done. And you know what? Belair is great when she's chasing. She's good when she's champion, but I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's more of a WWE thing, or just a wrestling thing, but like we see a lot of this where the chase is better than the catch, and that's very much that's a song. It's a Motorhead song for those who know, but it's very much like a wrestling trope where whoever's chasing, it's amazing, and then the catch is just like big moments, and then what?
Yeah, and like it doesn't help that they've inserted Asuka and Alexa Bliss into this just to round out the Damage Control stuff. Like it just feels very kind of like we need 3 people versus this stable, and it's like I said before, I don't know that I want to see Bayley as champion while she's with Damage Control. I don't think it's necessary. So like if they want to do this as one and done and then move Damage Control onto something else and continue to bolster the women's tag division, I think that would be a bit more beneficial, and then Bayley still gets some shine, like kind of sort of managing, being a player coach type thing. So
the Alexa Bliss stuff is only interesting right now because they're starting to play off the White Rabbit and having stuff in the background.
Yeah,
the vultures and all that stuff.
I gotta tell you, I don't care about the White Rabbit, mostly because the White Rabbit is like such a, I don't know, if it is Bray Wyatt doing his thing, it's just like it's a very juvenile level of creativity that I just don't care for. Like, I feel like the Alice in Wonderland thing is so tired. Like, I am cautiously optimistic, but skeptical. Because, like, I don't know. There's only so much you can do with that I'm not just going to be like...
So, I don't know if you followed any of, like, the detective threads whenever a White Rabbit QR code comes up. Or
I popped in a few, and I saw there was a Dante illusion and things like that. And it honestly, like, it is the level of like of literary illusions that are like, well, I'm an edgy 14-year-old. Like,
are you finding it a little much, or like is it too much of the you need to do the detective work to figure it out?
That I don't mind, because other people will do the detective work, so I don't have to do anything.
Yeah, I got that.
Like, I don't mind it because we got the whole wide internet and people who are much more invested than me. So like it's, and I think that, as someone who's a bit less like invested in every little thing that happens, I find it beneficial that there's like this whole other little outside thing, and it's not taking up a ton of programming. Like, what the
my screen is so small, I didn't even see this pop up. Oh Christ. I didn't even know you were here.
What's up? You working, Joel?
Every day, Sean Ross Sapp.
Can't relate. I'm at BK's root beer stand right now, just chilling. Sorry.
I haven't even eaten my lunch this morning or my breakfast or anything. This is what I get.
Oh, and you can probably see it in the reflection of these pit vipers. Shout out to BK's root beer stand. About to get a hot ham and cheese and some root beer. Looking like I'm about to rant about politics in my vehicle. Yeah. Hold on. Yeah. They put their seatbelt on too when they do it.
Yeah,
that's right. Energy. Yeah, you got to get that. Yep.
Let me tell you what ain't natural about this world.
Have they given you a sponsorship yet, BK?
I just came to do a run-in because Joel's trying to work while we're here, and I'm not.
Sean, oh God, I wanted to tell him. I don't think he realizes that Denise is also doing a show at the same time. So I've got everyone just talking.
He might just be making his rounds. He's off to there now.
Oh no, he can't get into that one because that's on her own private StreamYard.
I see.
I thought it would be funny if he gets in there. Anyway, whatever. Where were we? White Rabbit. Yeah, the detective work stuff is interesting in that it gives wrestling fans who are like obsessive about this stuff something to talk about, and it's encapsulated the wrestling world in a way that I think it's good. I think in some cases it takes away from other stories, which I don't love. But at least,
if I mean, but it's only ruining the experience for those people who are like ultra obsessive about it. I missed them. I've missed every single one because I'm not paying attention. I'm paying attention to the A plot. Like if other people want to like go back and go frame by frame through a Karrion Kross promo, that's on them, and they can tell me after. So that's like fair. I really don't mind it because I'm not looking for it at all because I kind of don't care because like they've been like what is it? There was like a Morse code one that was like Azazel Reborn, and I was like, oh my god,
okay. that was the one from this past week.
Yeah, it's like it's adorable to me. Like it's not. Yeah, I don't know. It's cute. We'll see where it goes. I don't know. I'm very nervous about like Bray Wyatt is very creative, and like I've been critical of concepts kind of before I see him execute them, and then they've been okay, but then they've been boggled by WWE trying to manage a supernatural gimmick, which is the problem. So like it's the collective creativity of it that's causing problems. But like because I've never really seen Bray stick the landing, because maybe he hasn't been given the opportunity to, I'm hesitant to say that it's going to be amazing, especially if it is Bray and if it is a White Rabbit thing, like an Alice in Wonderland. We'll see. Maybe this is his first real shot where he's not hindered by a geezer who's clueless.
Well, and that's the thing. When he was asked about it by Helwani, Triple H was like, Bray's a creative guy, and his mind runs everywhere, and you just need to harness that creativity.
Yeah, and you should give him the platform to try and like succeed or fail on his own without intervening, because like I think the guy's got a lot of great ideas. It's just a shame that like because his cult leader thing, like the Wyatt family, could have been amazing. It could have been like one of the best things in wrestling, but it wasn't, because it was like ruined by the overarching character that kind of controlled everything. And the Fiend, obviously, like the second he lost to Goldberg, was thrown in the trash.
Honestly, no, I'll give you one more. The second he was given a title shot.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you're right. Like that was it, because there's nothing that character can do with a title. Like,
well, there was, and it was a $6,400.
Yeah, make
championship title.
Hideous garbage idiots will buy. Anyway,
let's move on. Let's talk about. Let's talk about Candice LeRae. She's back. Candice LeRae made her
kind of an underwhelming.
Yeah, listen, being in Edmonton, and it's funny because I remember on Monday afternoon, a lot of people were super stoked. Like you had Dave Meltzer being like, "Oh, they're sold out in Edmonton. The crowd's going to be super duper hot," and like everyone kind of picked up on that and was like, "Oh, this is going to be a hot crowd." It's Canada, and I was thinking to myself, Edmonton's not like super duper A country when it comes to WWE. Like right now, because WWE is having a great run of shows and people are excited about it, doesn't really mean that the town's going to be super duper hot for it too.
It was the same in Toronto. I didn't feel that it was like crazy in there. Montreal seemed like the only one that was like on fire. The crowds haven't been that enthusiastic anywhere. Like, I don't know. And a lot of it's the structure. Like, again, just seating there is hard. Like, I don't know how you're going to get that excited about anything. Like,
oh God, why am I getting? I'm getting messages. Send me the StreamYard. I'm scared. Anyway, it was nice to see her back. I'm really excited to see where they go with Candice. And also, you know, the LeRays just love to come back in the middle of Canada. That's just what they do.
Yeah, which is like, okay. Yeah, you go whoop Nikki Ash's ass, I guess.
Well, so internally it was Dewdrop, and I was like, I'm stoked for this match just because like we're getting to the Nikki Ash.
Yeah.
Well, we're getting to like the end of the Nikki Ash story. Like she's gonna do something else, and they still did it. They still had Nikki, you know, take off her mask and get really upset because she lost the match. Stuff like that. I love that they're continuing. Yeah. Even when you're debuting a new wrestler, you can still have some sort of character development go on. And I think that was really, really helpful to see, and not just be like, we can only focus on one thing in this match. Like the brains are there.
Yeah. That's what I'm kind of liking about the newer WWE thing. It goes back to the White Rabbit stuff, is that they can tell two stories, and like the internet will do the extra work if someone misses something. Like, respect your audience more than they have been. Like, they aren't all children who are just staring at like the focal point exclusively the entire time. Oh God.
Speaking of awkwardly staring. Hello, Jeremy Lambert. Hello, the groom. How are you?
Yeah, shouldn't you be busy?
Something happening today that I don't know about?
Yeah, I'm just visiting the town you live in for shits and giggles.
Why are you here? I don't want you here.
Can you hear behind me? No, you probably can. If you're wearing headphones, you can. I've got Denise doing her show behind me at the exact same time.
I don't have headphones on. I'm on my phone trying to do this.
Yeah, so was Sean like 5 minutes ago.
Oh, was he?
Yeah, he was like sitting in a BK parking lot trying to talk shit while his internet was garbling his mouth. It's like, I'm getting
this show sounds like it's off the rails.
Oh, it was off the rails at 11 a.m. before we even went live an hour later. Anyway,
how are you feeling, Joel? You had about 15 drinks last night, from what I recall.
Yep.
I had to carry you to your room.
Yes.
So that was
Thank you for that, by
an
the way.
Adventure.
Yeah.
Noted alcoholic, Joel Pearl.
That's right. Yeah. Noted alcoholics at Fightful. That's all of us. Let me tell you, everyone went a little too ham last night at the bachelor party.
Yeah, just tequila shots, all other sorts of stuff was going around. The protein powder on the table, you know, it was protein powder. I'm gonna get in a bunch of trouble.
What happened to that guy that stole it? That short, bald guy.
I don't know. That was weird.
I hear he's gonna do a stint at the Chuckle Hut next month.
The Chuckle Hut.
I don't remember much from last night. I just remember carrying you to your room and all the tequila shots. That was it.
Strong man, Jeremy Lambert, right here.
Oh, who's in the background trying to talk?
That's Denise doing her show in the background.
Oh, Denise Salcedo. I should bug her for a link too.
Denise and Will are doing their show. Ain't no way they're gonna break their character for this shit.
No, absolutely not. I should do a simulcast. I'll be on both shows at once. I've done that before.
Hit up Will for the link because he ain't gonna get it from Denise.
Denise, I feel like I'll have more success trying to get it from Denise than Will.
Maybe. I don't know. I'm just sitting here and I'm like, I'm gonna go do a run in a minute. Take off my headphones and just yell.
There you go.
Just bring drop kick.
Yeah. She's in the kitchen and I'm in the great room. And we
I
could have really planned this better.
I saw Share Delaware having a tour where it's Podcast Central there at the Airbnb.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's just what we get.
I should just come over there and just do the podcast. Just pop in on both of them.
Yep. Sure.
I think like 5 minutes away.
Yeah, I was gonna say I'm pretty sure we're all gonna be in the same vicinity tomorrow, and it's pretty close as well.
We're going to Chuck E. Cheese tomorrow, everybody. Everybody's invited to Chuck E. Cheese.
There we go. Reception to Chuck E. Cheese. Tim, we'll see you there.
Don't you need to bring a child to get into Chuck E. Cheese?
My child's sitting elsewhere. It's fine. We're going while school's in session.
Oh, I don't know how Chuck E. Cheese works. I've never attended one.
You gotta live, Tim. You gotta live.
Hashtag live a little.
I do enough.
Anyway, who's living? Let's talk about Sami Zayn.
That sounds he's actually great. I was gonna say that sounds awful, but I can't besmirch Sami Zayn. He actually rules.
Yeah, exactly. So we're gonna talk about what he's doing and how he did it.
That sounds awful.
That's fine. I'm gonna see you. I'm gonna see you in a couple hours and enjoy the last few hours of your bachelorhood.
Allegedly. Yeah. I guess I am getting married in like 3.5 hours. That's
wild.
It's pretty soon.
Yeah.
Can you carry?
I should probably like get. This is what I'm wearing to the wedding.
Yeah, no, that makes sense.
Yeah.
2022 Stanley Cup champion Colorado Avalanche.
Spoiler alert! It's what you wore yesterday too.
Yeah, it is. I haven't changed, Joel. I haven't taken a shower or anything. Again, I carried you to your room. I passed out myself, and I just got up and just have this on still.
Tell my wife I still love her.
Bye, everyone. Y'all have a good show. Sorry for ruining it once again this week. Bye,
what happens. See you, Jeremy. All right, we're back. These run-ins are getting preposterous. I don't know if I can.
I'm just waiting for you to get drop kicked by someone. Just run up.
Don't worry.
There we go.
Worse.
There it is.
It always gets worse.
Yeah.
We're talking about Sami Zayn. And you just got to tell them you're talking about wrestling, and they're like, "Oh fuck this! I'm out of here.
Get out of here!"
All right. So Sami had a match on Raw with AJ Styles. That was really good. And it was Sami was solo against AJ Styles. Great match. Really, really fun stuff. And we're riding the wave of Sami Zayn. And then on SmackDown, there was that interaction, what do you want to call it, with Jey Uso. And this was the first time that I think people's minds started to shift to, what if Sami's the smart one here? Because typically WWE trope in face territory is you're an idiot and the heels are going to turn on you and your dumbass is just going to get kicked to the curb, and then you're going to have a vendetta, and then you're going to go against the heel and inevitably lose if it's a championship match. We're starting to see a little bit of cunning from Sami Zayn, and I was really surprised and really happy to see that. How are you feeling about Sami Zayn and what you saw on SmackDown with the Jey Uso interaction?
It was great. It was nice to see that he knows that now he's established his place and he doesn't need to be afraid of Jey no more. He's the honorary Oos. He has his t-shirt.
Do you think there's room for Jey and Sami to coexist? Can they coexist?
Yeah, I think they can coexist. I don't know that they're necessarily going to explode everything. And if it does happen, it'll happen slowly over time. And who knows where Roman's going to side at that point, because Sami has months probably to ply his wiles. So.
Yeah. The one thing I'm looking forward to at the end of the day is going to be, as I've been saying, Sami and Roman at the Rumble, because it's an inconsequential WWE Championship match you can have. And it's a good one that you can have. And it can set up the eventual KO and Sami versus the Usos tag title match at WrestleMania. Yeah, that's a moment.
It definitely sounds like the best way to go about this. So Sami tries to do, his massive manipulation strategy, but I don't know. It doesn't work out in the end.
But again, going from like the guy who just looks like he wants to belong and he looks like a silly idiot and he's making a fool of himself and he's cringeworthy, and then suddenly turning on the lights and being like, I'm gonna take advantage of this.
It's a lot more compelling, that's for sure. It's a lot less like one-dimensional, and it sows some doubt. Like I said, with with the maybe Jay's the one. Yeah,
even having Kevin Owens being like, going up to Sami and being like, you need a different shirt, and Sami. I think Sami of old would have been like neurotic and overacting and be like, what are you talking about?
Yeah.
But instead, you had him just kind of smile and laugh, and that was it. And look a little dejected, but also just like, I think I know what's going on. It feels like the ideas of a master plan, and I'm okay with that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly. It's good.
Yeah. So that was Raw and part of SmackDown. The Sami stuff, I think, is really getting better now that we see a little bit more than just like stupid babyface syndrome.
Yeah, exactly. He's not out there just doing a silly dance and everything. Yeah. So,
what else happened on SmackDown before we move on to AEW stuff? Because I know we have a lot to talk about there.
Mentioned Maximum Male Models.
Yes, Max Dupree got all pissy, and he's gonna go join the Knights.
Done with this, yeah.
Fine. Going back to LA. Yeah,
that's good. Keep Maximum Male Models around though. Don't get rid of them.
Oh no, for sure. What do you do with them though? Do you have Maxine just like lead the charge?
Yeah, I think so. It's a shame because she's not particularly interesting. But maybe there's room to expand on that. One thing they could do is explain to me why they want to wrestle.
Yes, that would be nice.
The thing that just needs to happen. Like, it's, you know, it's got good bones. It's got good bones, but they got to actually like get in there and do some work with it rather than just throwing it up on the screen. Same thing with the Los Lotharios. Like, what are they doing? They're just around. Like, you know, if you're gonna put them on TV, slowly start to give them some personality.
They had started, and then all of a sudden it just boom stopped. They didn't want to talk about them anymore. They left them by the wayside, and then it was just back to like maximum male models. They should be trying to do a thing with those four actively, and not just like every few weeks they happen to be buddies because they're good looking.
Yeah, exactly. And again, it's just, you know, you have all of these tag teams start to do the work for the tag team division. Like, you're now giving them TV time, which is like a brand new kind of breath of fresh air.
Yeah.
But now you have to add more story to it. Like, you're at least entertaining, whereas before it was mind-numbingly boring. But you should probably advance things rather than kind of hold on the same tableau, really, because that's what's happened. Like, you're seeing a thing that doesn't, you know, you can kind of pull meaning from it if you want, but there's not much overtly happening. So
no 5-second poses.
No.
Damn.
I think we've done that once now, so that's enough. Now on to a different thing.
I think that's an interaction I need. I need them trying to do, if they had done that on SmackDown. I know Edge is like a super serious character, but Edge coming up to them as they're doing, they're like holding the pose and being like, it's been done, and then just walking away to do whatever he was doing next.
Yeah, that would have been a good little nod.
Yeah, and they did a few of those. Like, they had Shinsuke, like, you know, make fun of them and pose with them, and it was cute. Like, little things like that I like.
Yeah.
But obviously, Mache and Mansoor, like, they gotta do something. And like you said, they gotta tell you why they're gonna wrestle and why they want to wrestle, and if they want to be champions, or they just want to, I don't know, maybe like they think that wrestling's gonna get them onto New York Fashion Week.
Yeah, okay. So that's the thing. Like, it's easy. Here, I'll pitch it for you. They don't have traditional male model body types. Male models are usually fairly lithe, not muscular. So this is an area that merges their passions, which is looking goddamn good, and being around all of these people who are like chiseled, right? So that they're trying to break into the modeling industry in the only way they know how, like going into a different forum and bringing it into that. And just, you know, wrestling, you can be whoever you want. Like, it doesn't, that was jumbled. I'm off my game today, but like, you know what I mean? Like,
you don't have 50 people talking around you.
Yeah. No, just in my ears.
I'm trying, buddy. I'm trying.
It's okay. Your off-brand 58 is very directional, so it's not that bad. So yeah, like, all they have to do is explain, like, well, there's not a lot of room for us in the actual modeling industry, but we're very interested in modeling, but we're also interested in bodybuilding. Where can you do both? The WWE.
You know what they need? They need a Zoolander appearance.
Yeah.
They absolutely need a Zoolander. They need a Derek Zoolander appearance. They need to be sent to the Derek Zoolander Center for Children Who Don't Read Very Good. What is this? A center for ants? Anyway, Shotzi got her tank back. They only brought it on the road 4 times before she finally got the stupid thing.
Well, and they tipped the hat so heavily with when I roll down to the ring.
Yes, people are like, "What does that mean?" Like, what do you think it means? We're just gonna nail you on the head with it. Let's go.
That promo was better than the other ones as of late, though, so that's encouraging.
It's good to see that she's getting her confidence back. Match wasn't incredible, but it was still fine. I mean, for what it was. I'm looking forward to watching a face Shotzi, because that means it's going to be an insane Shotzi, which is kind of the way that I like her. The only way to wrestle.
Really, I think it works best that way. So,
people were not in the chat, but just like places I read were shitting all over her work, and like, I get it. She's not perfect, but she's all right. She's fine.
I think you're inclined to be a bit more like favorable to her. Her in-ring hasn't been.
Oh, it's not incredible, but you know, I see the benefit in having someone like her around.
Look, she's on the same level as Liv to me. Like, whereas, you know, Liv's also
should be women's champion today. That's right.
Absolutely not. No, but her that promo was better than they have been in the past. in-ring still has some work to do, but I guess I don't know. I'm just saying. all I'm saying is when the strikes are a mile away, or I don't know. It's hard to.
Ronda and Natalia had a match. The story was more the post-match with Liv. And of course, people want to talk about the shirt that
which was
I
saw that, and like I saw you having to explain after the fact, but I saw it on the screen and had the exact same thought immediately. I was like, shit. Like, that's not the right person to have. Like, I'm sure it was her choice to wear it.
I think it was, and I also think so for those who don't know, she was wearing an orange shirt to commemorate the National Day of Truth and Reconciliation, which in Canada is it's hard to explain, but essentially it is I don't want to be snarky when I say this, but about a couple of years ago, it's commemorating children of our indigenous cultures, many of whom were some were found dead, some were years of mistreatment. The idea here is that every child matters, and that's really the whole crux of the day. It is the celebration and commemoration of children, especially indigenous children in this case. And yeah, so she's wearing the orange shirt. Orange is the commemorative color. And listen, Ronda's a new mom herself. I understand that there is the Sandy Hook bullshit with Ronda. I don't want to get too far in the weeds, but I also want to just put out there that, there was a conscious decision and a conscious effort for her to wear that shirt. I would rather celebrate that fact than harp on something that she spoke on once and hasn't spoken of since. That's not me absolving her of any responsibility or blame. But I think I'd rather focus on what she did that day, this past Friday, than what she said once and hasn't said again.
I'd rather just like move on past it. Like I don't.
Yeah.
It's like, yep, that's fine. You've done the bare minimum of anything. Like,
yeah, she wore the shirt. Like she could have worn the SmackDown Winnipeg shirt, but instead she wore that one because she felt it, more impactful for her, and that's fine.
And hopefully she votes in ways that aren't abusive to Indigenous people in America. But we'll see.
Well, yeah. Well, she's not in Canada,
I guess we
so
won't
we
see.
don't
We'll never find out.
Exactly. What else was there from SmackDown? Was there anything really important that we need to talk about? Brawling Brutes and Imperium had a really good segment.
Yep.
It was a weird week in wrestling just because of the hurricane.
Yeah, I mean, it also just felt like, again, they're just kind of treading water. AEW had their like kind of reason for it because of the hurricane. I don't know that WWE did. Like
they were trying to get people in and out, but of course it's twofold. It's the hurricane, it's Canada, and for those who don't know, as of yesterday, all vax requirements were lifted.
Yeah,
so masking and vax requirements, so anyone can make it across the border. But because SmackDown was on the 30th of September, not everyone was available.
Just not quite. But I mean, I don't think that impacted the show a ton. They've gotten pretty good at dancing around that. Like,
yeah, they did.
They didn't have Jimmy there.
Well, Jimmy, you're never,
which he's never gonna see.
Yeah.
Which, like, I don't. I saw someone ask you like, when can they go? And it's like, I don't know. Hopefully, never. Like, I've knew too many people who have been murdered by drunk drivers. Like, there's no excuse for it. Piss off. Like, as far as I'm concerned, it's ridiculous that he's allowed to continue to do such a cushy, nice job. Like, don't do that. It's a piece of shit thing to do.
Yeah, and I'm not going to make excuses for it, but Canada takes DUIs very seriously, as they should, and so as a result, you can't get in. Yeah, well, yeah, and it's the same thing with Jeff Hardy. You won't see him get into Canada as easily or ever. That's a whole.
Yeah, I don't need to see Jeff Hardy wrestle in 2022 anyway.
Yeah. Let's go over to AEW. Are you ready to talk about that?
Yeah.
Jericho Appreciation Society opens up. They're doing the Appreciation Society thank you or whatever. Because
I don't know the purple affair.
Yes,
with
purple,
Pizza Man. What I learned a new internet term because of Pizza Man.
Don't need to talk about that guy.
No. That was fast up and down.
Yeah, well, I don't need to talk about him. Do some Googling. Anyway, so really the crux of the situation was Jericho and Garcia, and Jericho tries to present a bucket Kangol hat to Garcia, which is a little thing that I want to talk about in a second. But Danielson comes out and they do a whole exchange, and as a result, we're going to have Garcia and Danielson teaming up against Jericho and Sammy Guevara. Do you want to do the voice now? Do you want to bring back the Sammy Guevara voice?
Sammy Guevara.
Yeah, let's do that. I like that. I missed that. So the Kangol hat, there's this little thing that I think some people noticed, but maybe some people didn't. It's the wrong hats. The bucket hat is not the Kangol hat that Garcia would wear. And there's a certain amount of disrespect or just non-caring by Jericho, who couldn't get the little thing right. And it just shows that he cares more about himself than he does about the guy in his group. And so I like that little thread. At least that's what it was for me. And then having Danielson come out, and again, it's the big war between JAS and the Blackpool Combat Club. Like there's a lot of good stuff there. But what do you think of the segment? What do you think of the match, the tag match next week on Dynamite?
Segment was up and down, like really up and down. One, it was long. We all know why. That's fine. But like, why is Anna Jay there at all? Like, my God, what a stupid, like, it was so unpleasant to just have her, like,
yeah,
I feel for her, because it's just like, what do you were given this line to say nothing. Like, you're just there to make noise. Ty's in the back just doing hand signs,
eating pizza and kissing her husband.
Yeah. They punched the pizza man, which was like, okay, that was funny. I'm tired of the cheap pops. Like, like the cheap pops, cheap heat in AEW when they're running like 4 cities is getting very irritating. Like the Philly stuff, it was just like, I'm not from Philly. I am not physically there. You're our TV show. Like, do that a little bit and be done with it. I don't need half the show, half the wrestlers to be going on and on about Philly versus New York, blah, blah, blah. It's like, I don't know either of these things. I'm not from there. I'm watching a television show that is broadcast all over the world, supposedly. So like, even Danielson doing his cheap, I was like, what the hell is this? What Bryan Danielson is this? Like,
cheap pop Bryan, that exists.
Yeah, it definitely did, but I was just tired of it. Like,
I get it. They did a match. It was Danielson versus Matt Menard. Matt Menard, who was injured for a little bit, now he's back. It was a good match. It was a good little thing.
Yeah, I enjoyed it.
Bryan gets the win, as he does with knee plus, and then they do the segment with Yuta and MJF. Now, big division as to how people felt. Yeah, listen, Wheeler Yuta's voice cracked once, and I laughed.
Yeah,
and that was funny, and I felt bad for him. Otherwise, I actually thought his promo was really good.
Much better. Step up.
Yeah.
Again, it's just, I think he has to affect his voice in a way that's a bit like, and there's a few guys in AEW who like kind of come off a little bit wimpy in just the way that they speak. It's tough. Like I feel for them because it's an uphill battle, and I got kind of a nasally voice too, and it's just like, you gotta manipulate it, I think, in pro wrestling and put on some airs, because it's hard to get over otherwise. That being said, like this segment went from down to up as far as I'm concerned. Like, it started off pretty like standard fare. Wheeler did better, so again, it's like step improvements. MJF comes out and he has become incredibly one note to me. Like, there's nothing there. Like, I'm tired of it. It's not doing anything. He is making the same. Like, again, he spent the entire time just shitting on Philly. And it's like, okay, I don't care. I'm not from Philadelphia. In fact, most of the people watching aren't from Philadelphia. So, like, this isn't that interesting to me. And it's just, that's it. That's all he's been doing for weeks. And the generational talent line is not over for me. Like, it's just like, okay, you gonna wrestle some more? Because you don't do a lot of that. And I don't believe you're a multimillionaire. I just don't. Like, I don't know where you're getting that money.
Mom and dad's basement.
Exactly. I was like, were your parents rich? Like,
I get it. I get that there are strong rivalries between Northeast and South. I see that in the chat.
I don't care.
I think it's more that this is a global show, or at least
like,
a national show.
Who do you want to be for? Do you want to be there for the live audience, or do you want to try to expand your audience?
Yeah, but that's the hard part, though, because everybody does it. The cheap heat thing.
WWE does this tons too. It's the traveling
and the
circus
idea
problem in wrestling. Like,
yeah, it's the idea that if you make fun of the town that you're in, you'll get the heat. Is it the right kind of heat, or does it set up for later?
Lazy.
Like,
it's
lazy.
Boring.
It's lazy,
like,
but it is the way that they can very easily get it done.
I know, but it's also like we've gone through an era where it was like meta with Mick Foley doing his cheap pop bit. Like, it's been done to death. Like,
yes,
this trope in wrestling has been explored so much that it's really hard for me to get all that. Like, I'm glazing over when I'm watching most wrestling at this point, like WWE and AEW, because of little things like this, where it's the repeated taglines, it's the city-based humor, and like how many the Canada stuff has been exhausting, because Jericho called the great country of Canada during his promo, or Toronto, man,
the great country of Toronto,
great country of Toronto, or whatever. And then like they keep talking about Edmonton and Canada. It's like, buddy, look, like it's like the US. It's such a large landmass that none of these places, like the regions, barely identify as Canada versus like their own regions. They're so culturally kind of different. Like it's I don't know. It's so boring. I'm so tired of hearing people do the sports team crap. Like I
get it.
care. Like your sports teams are filled with people who aren't from your city. Like it's so silly to me. Like I'm bored. I'm bored out of my gourd. Anyway, Wheeler Yuta kicking MJF's ass was the most interesting part of that entire segment. If I had to sit through that boring like shout fest at the start, it was worth it for that appearance behind him and then throwing him around in the VIP box. I enjoyed that a lot.
Big fan of Yuta calling him out on his shit, and then not a big fan of MJF doing all the shit and
doing
then
it anyway.
Called out on it. Well, it's not even that. Like when he was called out on, he said the thing, and Yuta said it. Like he said the line, and people couldn't hear him. Right? Yeah. It was one of those like, come on, that should have been the funny gotcha moment.
Yeah.
And yeah, like it is traditional, and
totally.
You're right.
Yeah.
Could be better ways to do it.
But
it's like,
it's just I understand why it's just not for me. But it works for lots of people. So like, I'm not saying stop doing it. I'm just saying that if you want to ask me about it, I'm like this the entire time. Like I don't care. It's so boring to me.
Did you feel a good way about Mox versus Rock Hard Juice Robinson?
Yeah, I like Rock Hard Juice Robinson is what I got from that. He's like Joey Janela, but a bit more like athletic and fun. I don't know.
No, he's great. And it's interesting if they're going to make overtures to try and sign him. His wife is the interim women's world champion right now in AEW, so could be something.
Yeah. Do they need more people on the roster?
No, absolutely not, especially after they signed Roosh, and now there's talk about
great. Now I have to watch. Now I have to watch Roosh beat John Silver, who I care way more about than Roosh. So that's fun.
Toro no Blanc Jabo.
Yeah, I'm honestly like I don't know what the long-term plan is here. There isn't one. It's chaos.
You know what? I'm excited.
Coming together for me. Like
I'm excited for one of two things. Either Tony's going to find really interesting ways to have Roosh lose matches where he doesn't get pinned or submitted, or Roosh is going to be in a whole lot of multi-man matches where he just doesn't get pinned or submitted.
Yeah, the faction ingouvernables.
Yeah. Ten's gonna be the new member, and he's just gonna take all the pins for Roosh and Andrade. That's how it's gonna work.
10. Yeah.
My God, press 10, Vance. And then we heard from Saraya.
Yeah, I love that they made a big meal about the mispronunciation of her name, because I'm sorry, British people just love spelling things in ways that don't sound like how they're spelt. So
she took to Twitter to be like, it's pronounced this way. And that was after the announcement.
If you have to spell your name a different way to get people to pronounce it right, maybe it's just spelled wrong.
Stop it. It's a phonetic thing. Listen, we can't all go on the internet and be like, it's Tim. Okay. It's not Team.
You can call me Team. I'll be fine with that. That sounds cool.
It's time.
Whatever. Be like, I guess the difference is Chad Kruger. Apparently, did you see that? Did you see that?
It's not Chad Kruger.
It's not Chad. It's not Chad Kroger. He's
is
just
that
been
because
too polite.
Kroger's went after him?
No. He just did it in an interview. He's like, actually, it's Kruger. I've just been too nice this entire time to correct everyone.
Stupid Canadians can't tell anyone how they're
yeah, his name is Kruger.
That's so obnoxious. Okay, so Saraya comes out. She says a whole bunch of nothing. I'm sorry. I know people are going to say like, oh, she was good intention. She's just rusty. No, the promo was garbage.
Yeah, it
had
good.
Absolutely. It was a big nothing salad.
Like I'm tired of people saying they're the revolution and then nothing changing at all. It's weird. It's weird to me that she postures as a veteran when she had 4 years as a run before she was unfortunately kind of waylaid.
Yeah, and then turned into a general manager and then turned into a manager. But the point here is so she comes out, she says she really does say a whole lot of nothing, because
there was no ideas.
What everyone just wanted to know is, hey, are you clear
wrestle
or not? And she doesn't she gave you absolutely nothing. She made a lumberjack match because she talked to her good pal Tony Khan.
Which is, oh my God, I have so many thoughts on the lumberjack
we'll get there.
match.
And so here's the thing. And here's, so again, I mentioned this online and I'll say it again. Why would you do that segment knowing you didn't have full access to your women's division? It looked absolutely silly.
All you had to do,
a limited number of people,
was just have her do a promo and not do that stupid match, because like a 8-person lumberjack match is the saddest shit I've ever seen.
Yeah.
Like, I'm going to change this division. I'm going to change this division by making a match, probably the most boring stipulation match in all of pro wrestling, the lumberjack match. And then I'm going to walk away. I'm just going to go up to commentary where y'all will have a boring conversation there. Like,
when she made the match and then walked away, I'm like, she's not cleared.
No.
And then they're gonna lean on that until eventually maybe she gets cleared, and maybe they do it. She'll be a part of the 6-woman tag next week as a person in the background, but I'm sure she's going to be up in commentary, maybe with Britt as well. The segment was just dog shit. They did nothing to get anybody over in that division. They point out one person, and that was Toni Storm, and then immediately brought out Britt and her gang, and then it was a Britt versus Saraya promo that
when
went
she called out the entire women's division and 5 women come out, that was the
that was obnoxious
thing. Like, it was so bad. And then the heels come out, and there's 4 of them, and
they're all, and by the way, the 4 of
anyway,
it was 5 of them, and 4 of them are in the same faction together already, and then they added a
Penelope Ford apparently in it now. I have no idea.
That was the thing. It was like everyone asked, like, why is Penelope Ford out here? And everyone's like, she's a heel. I'm like, that's not good enough. Just because she comes out of the same tunnel as Britt and her friends, that doesn't make her friendly with Britt. It was just, again,
it was weird. It was so weird.
If you're trying to make chicken salad out of this, you can't. You should have not ran this promo. You could have done anything else. You could have had Saraya come out.
Yeah, exactly. Just have her do a short talk.
And have her be like, I'm here, I'm excited, I'm going to make this division better. And now here's Toni Storm versus Serena Deeb. Get excited. These 2 women rule. Could have done that, and it would have been fantastic.
Yeah, and then run a bigger one next week if they want, with the actual entire women's division. But
and I'm sorry, running that stupid line about I finally have a boss who listens to me.
That was weird.
Guess what? 5 months ago, 5 months ago, that line would have been impactful.
Yeah.
But because you're running up against a hot WWE with a brand new regime, and famously have a boss who doesn't suck when you worked with them in NXT, and then people I know listen,
who was the reason she's like
well, so here's the thing before we get into this, I'm sure someone in the comments is gonna be like, well, he said that thing about he said that really sexist line. You know what Triple H said? He said something along the lines of oh, Paige, she may have kids somewhere, I don't know. It was something really flippant like that. And you know what Triple H did? He apologized the next morning, both to her and publicly. And so
everyone puts their foot in their mouth sometimes.
He said a stupid line that he thought he was funny, and he's like, it wasn't funny, it was silly, and I coughed black, and I'm sorry. And guess what? Paige accepted the apology. Paige, Saraya, you know what I mean. But my point was, like, what they last argued about when she was in WWE was the Twitch thing, and that was a big deal because she had no other means of making money other than her downside and whatever deal she had with WWE. I get it, but
let me be clear,
won
though.
That fight.
Yeah. Also, that's not an idea, and she's pretending like her ideas weren't listened to, and it's like, well, that's not.
It's entirely possible that there were ideas that were shot down. Sure. Well, guess what? Having a lumberjack match wasn't exactly a great
terrible idea. That was such a boring, and that's what I mean. Like, I'm here to change the division by maintaining the status quo in the blandest way possible.
And here's the thing. I'm okay with them taking shots too, Senior Nerd. Like, I'm fine with them.
Yeah.
And again, it's healthy, it's competition, but like there's a time and a place, and it feels a lot like one side is taking a lot more shots than the other.
CM Punk yelling at WWE, fine. That was fine. Like, that was his whole thing. But like this, I don't know. She seemed to have didn't she? She did a very grand thank you when her contract finally did end,
as they always do.
Exactly. It was
and going back to Punk making me laugh when it comes to the shots at WWE when Tony bought Ring of Honor, and he was like, I'd rather it be in Tony's hands than on some subsection of Peacock. I thought that was I thought that was cute, and I thought that was a good shot. Like, that's what it was. But I don't like it when it's just like, I don't get listened to at my old job. And it's like, but you did. And Maybe
I
your
also
ideas just
like.
weren't great.
I just have no faith that her ideas were like groundbreaking. I just haven't seen anything to indicate that she's like a genius creative. Like,
and
I've
yes,
seen her Twitch channel. Nothing happens. I don't get why people watch it. I didn't get why people watch it.
You get why people watch it. And here's the thing. Okay, Johnny's saying WWE bashing is pretty irrelevant right now because Triple H took over creative, and that's the thing. Times have changed in that regime. A lot of the people who were let go and are coming into different companies are coming in before Triple H had taken over. So like their axe to grind is with someone who is no longer there. I understand the overarching mentality, but most fans are seeing a different WWE these days.
And that's it's not like AEW is killing it narratively. Like WWE isn't either, to be clear. Like I don't think that anyone is telling great wrestling stories. Like
Impact Wrestling is telling great stories.
The Impact, yeah, Impact.
Sometimes
Impact
they have coherent stories that work.
Exactly.
Except for
I wish
Bobby
I could
Fish.
watch it. I wish I could watch Impact more. But here I am being bored by cheap pops and cheap heat every week.
I get it. I really do. Anyway, let's talk about the main event. I think that was a really, really, really solid match. Jericho took on Bandido. First of all, Jericho selling for all of Bandido's offense, taking just about everything.
The 1 minute vertical suplex,
yeah. It was just like a 60% suplex, but it was good. I listen. It's hot. I can't lift someone up over my head for 2 seconds, let alone 60, let alone 20 for that.
Yeah.
So it was fine. It was a really, really solid match. Bandido hitting the 21 plex on Jericho, and Jericho not just like turning that into the Judas effect somehow. They did a whole lot of really, really solid stuff. Bandido got a really good shine. Everyone was excited for him.
My
afterwards.
introduction to him, like they
really?
did a good job of introducing him. Minus the video package, the narrative, like the commentary over the video package was good. The video package was like, throw in 6 tornillos and a tope and call it a meal. But I was like, that wasn't that interesting.
Oh, you want luchadors? Here's your luchador.
Just all tornillos, not even great ones. Just like, what's the quickest stuff we can throw together? But it was good. Like the match was a lot of fun. Commentary distracted me a couple of times, as they seem to always do nowadays.
After the match, Jericho takes out the ring announcer, Bobby Cruz. Yep. He'd also poked Bandido in the eye. The story now is Jericho is being dishonorable.
Yeah, exactly.
I was going to say unhonorable, but yes. So I'm waiting for him to introduce the Jericho Code of Honor, and that's going to be the best time of my life. And he's going to take on former champions. So obviously Bryan Danielson in Toronto is going to be the match. That's exciting. I'm excited to see that happen.
Great country, Toronto.
I know a lot of people were immediately like, it's got to be people like CM Punk versus Chris Jericho, and when I saw Low Key versus Chris Jericho, I was like, on paper, yes, great match.
Would temper those expectations.
The idea of Low Key coming into work at AEW, it feels like not going to happen. And if it does, Court Bauer's got to like accompany Low Key because he is the wrestler whisperer, and he'll be like, it's fine, just do the match, do the job, it's okay.
Just go.
He's gonna kick you in the dick, and it's fine. You'll be okay.
You will live, hopefully.
Give me my Jericho versus Morishima match. That's all I want. And you're not going to see it because Morishima retired like 05. And Jericho versus Samoa Joe, Mimosa Joe, Ragosa Joe, Samosa Joe. That's what I want to see. There's some good stuff in there. Yeah. And you know what? Jericho's on a rampage, for lack of a better term, right now when it comes to his matches.
He really is.
That match really did make this Dynamite special. You bookended with Jericho, and I can't believe after we spent almost a solid year being like, this Jericho sucks. Now he's turned it around, and we found something that, like, listen, he's not always perfect, but like he's become a character, and he's become a face and someone that you can really rely on to make good TV. And I'm a fan.
Yeah, me too. Like it's been good. That match was a lot of fun. The one that the bloody nose with the white bandana was like very fun, very good stuff. Yeah. It was very funny to me because I think it was Excalibur, who normally is always on point. I mentioned like, oh, and that mask, it's not a normal mask. He must have a hard time breathing through it. And I was like, so you're either like calling Bandido an utter moron, or like that's just not true. And looking at the mask style, that's just not true.
It's a Bandido mask. How is that?
Like it's not hard to breathe through, and there's also like it's flapping open in the bottom. Like
exactly. You should wear an Orville Peck mask.
Like that's.
Are you familiar with Orville Peck?
Am I familiar with Orville? I love Orville Peck's new album. Wasn't into him at all when he first came out. I found it kind of drab. This, like Bronco, I listened to it nonstop. I know every lyric.
I'm audible on Will Denise's show.
Hell yeah, you are. Fight back.
Oh, it's okay. Denise is very audible on my show. We're literally like
tit for tat.
30 feet away from each other.
It's an arms race, baby.
It is. Let's talk about let's get the Extreme Rules card real quick, because next Saturday is Extreme Rules. Next Friday is Bound for Glory, Rampage, and Battle of the Belts. Saturday is Extreme Rules, and then Sunday, I'm sure there's another.
I'm not watching Battle of the Belts. I can't. There's too much. I don't have time.
You don't want to watch Pac versus Trent Barretta?
Oh, I do want to watch that.
It's actually going to be a good match.
Why are they wrestling?
Because of the best friends.
Because Orange Cassidy lost.
Yeah, because Orange Cassidy. Well, it's not even. It's the way that he lost. So now they got to continue that feud because he got taken out by the ring bell.
Tell a story that I care about.
It's okay. Orange Cassidy will come back at the end of that match and avenge his friend.
Yeah, whatever. I prefer Trent anyway.
Yeah, it's fine. Listen, Battle of the Belts has become inconsequential, but at least the matches are fun. If they do a title change of some sorts, that'd be nice.
Something.
Anyway, so yeah, Extreme Rules is next Saturday night. That's right, Saturday night. So what are we doing here? We've got Brawling Brutes versus Imperium in a
Donnybrook
fashion Donnybrook match. What is that match, Tim? Are they gonna fight outside of?
It's just a hardcore match.
They should do the match outside.
They should do it outside of a bar. Here's a creative way to do some cheap city heat. Find a popular bar in that city and film a match.
Destroy the shit out of it. That's right.
Where are they? Where is Extreme Rules out of?
Philadelphia.
Oh, for
I'm all for it.
Anyway, find a cheesesteak joint and like fight outside of that. I don't know. Do that.
They're going to go to Gino's.
That's a novel way of doing they're in a city like that. Do that. Do something interesting with it rather than just, the Phillies are never going to win.
Sheamus is about to get married, by the way, so I'm wondering if they're going to try and write him off because he's got a match against Gunther for the Intercontinental Championship.
Yeah, the rematch of the century.
I mean, I'm excited for that rematch. It was a banger at Clash of the Castle. But yeah, so Sheamus is about to get married, and I wonder if he's going to take a mini vacation after that. I assume they got to write him off for at least a couple of weeks.
Yeah.
Wow. Will they write him off with a new title? Who knows? Probably not. They're really trying to refocus those titles.
No. Gunther is being built.
Yeah. Edge and Finn Balor in an I Quit match.
It's Judgment Day.
Judgment Day.
My Judgment Day. It's adorable. Yeah, I miss his little shorts.
Did you see the WrestleVotes tweet that Finn Balor, who's on TV every single week, is poised for a push?
Yeah. It's like, thank you for
yes, I do watch the TV product.
Meaty nothing burger.
So Finn Balor going to beat Edge?
I mean,
if you're WrestleVotes, I guess you have to.
I hope so. I don't need to see it. Just watch it. I want to see the year of Edge losing. It's fine.
Yeah, and you know what? Edge would probably be okay with that too, to a certain degree.
Yeah, I think that's what you do with him, especially before like they haven't paid off the Beth thing at all from Toronto. Like
that's so frustrating. I wanted them to do that so badly.
And this is the thing that like this happens a ton in AEW. It's still happening in WWE. It's just less noticeable because there's at least something interesting going on in the screen, and your mind wanders slightly less. But like there's lots of stuff where they're just dropping the thread. Like AEW does it nonstop. WWE does it plenty. Like Beth showed up in Toronto, wielded a chair. We didn't get a tag match or even like we haven't seen her since.
And it could be that she just didn't want to wrestle. But if that's
which
the
is
case,
fine,
then you
don't use her
physically.
Like, yeah, exactly. Like don't remind me
strange.
she exists. Like
it is strange. I would have liked to have seen, and maybe they're going to go that route. Maybe in Saudi.
And that's what
get
maybe
a big
they're just delaying things, but it's like, okay, well, if it's not going to work out, like don't start, like you got to plan better so that you can introduce things at the right beat. Like
the point is, if they want to add another layer to their house, you got to work the Saudi show.
Yeah,
that's the way it goes.
It's true.
Bianca Belair and Bayley are phasing out for the ladder match. We mentioned it at the top of the show. It's a good way to get the title off of Bianca without pinning her. Bayley with that Raw Women's Championship seems to make sense because the chase has, it's better than the catch.
Like I said, I don't know. I would prefer Bianca to keep the title and just not be in this person tag business right now. Like that would be my ideal kind of situation. Like I think Belair still has like some stuff to explore with this title run. I think they just need to reintroduce some of the women as singles competitors and separate Bayley and her faction from like the main event picture. I think that would be better.
It's not going to happen yet, but I think in this case, it'll be a big screw job finish to set up for War Games. Yeah. So a bunch of people just coming in, screwing Belair, helping Bayley win her title, and that's it.
And I keep forgetting that we have the Gang Wars match coming up. So
yeah, Karrion Kross and Drew McIntyre have a strap match.
I think this is the most compelling way you could feature Karrion Kross right now. Like I think they'll have a very good match in this setup.
I'm expecting this match to main event because of the Bray Wyatt stuff.
Yeah, if Karrion
if
Kross
it does,
is in the
then that's what we're doing. Or or it opens the match. If it either opens the show and that's when you do it, or you close the show and then you know what's happening.
They are, I will say, they are treating Ronda versus Liv as the main event on TV.
And we've talked about that,
but it is not. It is not a main event, and that is what's concerning. Like,
so again, it's a main event. So let's just move on to, well, first of all, Drew and Karrion. You think Karrion is going to win, or is it a big nothing burger of nobody wins?
I don't think it matters who wins this. Like it kind of sucks for Karrion if he loses. Drew might be able to take the pin and still have like enough kind of cachet, but I don't know. I don't want to watch him lose.
I get it. And you know what? Karrion Kross just came back. Drew losing another match. It's a kind of a no-win situation. This is the match and it's a strap match. So
there's like, that's the thing. Like there's no really, you can't finish it in a way that isn't a finish. Like you can choke
you can. Yeah, you can choke them out, or you can have someone come in and interfere and end the match.
But that's what I mean. That's the only exit is an interference. So if it is Bray and they do it not at the end of the show, it's weird.
Yeah. So we don't have to talk about Liv and we'll do that last. Riddle and Rollins in Fight Pit. Daniel Cormier is the special guest referee. They announced that last night, and I was just like, that came out of nowhere.
I'm very excited about that.
Apparently very excited.
Yeah, I love Daniel Cormier. I just want him in wrestling. Get all these other fools out. Just give me DC.
I mean, DC had done an audition to do WWE on Fox to do the SmackDown commentary. Didn't happen, but
wow, boy, that would have been a way better fill-in.
I would rather him filling in for Corey Graves for
that's what I mean. Like I think they made the right call with Pat. They made very much the right call with Pat, but they could have brought in DC for a little bit instead of having double the dose of Corey Graves, who spent all of Monday just being exacerbated with Jimmy Smith. Judgment Day.
We're back, baby.
Day. Like. No, you mean the Judgment Day. No, you mean the Bloodline now.
That sounds like him. Sounds like Corey Graves.
Annoying. And it's Jimmy Smith's fault. Like, man.
So Riddle wins Fight Pit. Cormier helps, or does Cormier call it down the middle?
Calls it down the middle. It's Daniel Cormier. He's the goodest man.
Seth Rollins versus DC is the match we need to see. That's right.
Yeah, that I want to see. I want to see DC getting head stomped.
Yes. And in the presumed main event, Liv Morgan and Ronda Rousey. So it is an Extreme Rules match for the SmackDown Women's Championship. The fact that it's an Extreme Rules match on the Extreme Rules pay-per-view kind of lets credence to the idea that it is the main event. If you want to make Ronda Rousey that Brock Lesnar style star, you have her beat the shit out of Liv Morgan and take the title in like 2 minutes. And we talked about this before. You can't really have Liv Morgan put in too much if this is the main event. They kind of need to, I hate to say it, kind of need to bury her in a way and make Ronda look fantastic.
I just don't like Ronda at all. Like, not even a little bit.
If she wore another orange shirt with that. Sorry, go ahead.
No amount of shirts are
no
going
amount
to be like Ronda.
Yeah.
I don't like that. I don't know. They seem to want me to kind of root for Ronda, I guess. Who am I supposed to root for in this? Like, I don't really care about it.
You're supposed to root for Liv because you're supposed to be a Liv
champion. Yeah.
Yes, the underdog champion.
But then why is Ronda wearing like shirts like that on TV? Like, someone should.
See, we live in a world of shades of gray, Tim.
But I don't know.
I'm not doing the thing, but yes.
I don't like Ronda. I don't like Ronda a little bit. I don't like her promos. I don't like her wrestling. I don't like her character. I don't like her saying she's the most dangerous woman in the world. unarmed when I watched Holly Holm kick her ass in the head. Like, and then
how do you kick someone's ass in the head?
Yeah, it's when your brains are that full of ass, you know. I don't like it. I don't care at all. Like, I just don't find Ronda Rousey like all that exciting.
Do you take this match to hardline somebody as a face and a heel?
I think you should. I think someone should do something absolutely turn Liv for the hell. Like, I don't know, make her like really monstrous. I don't know how you do that after the fact, but like something.
Yeah. It's going to be a good card. I mean, looking forward to Extreme Rules this Saturday. There's a lot of good stuff there. But we got to get out of here. I got to go eat some lunch. I haven't done that yet.
Get ready.
I got to get ready for the amazingly incredible wedding of some sorts.
Yeah.
Not mine, Jeremy Lambert's.
Yeah.
Tim, where can the people find you on the internet?
They can find me at Tim Stonep, TIMBSTONEP. Is Instagram, Twitter. Talking's hard.
YouTube.com/Fightful Overbooked. Every day we're dropping content. Or at least we're trying to, man. Programming note, if you're watching now, there's no tag talk this week. Want to send our love to Kylie and Haley. They've been dealing with some hurricane stuff, and just as a result, they're off this week. We wanted to make sure that everyone's okay. So no tag talk, at least not Sunday. We'll figure out if they want to do a show later this week. That's up to them, but I wanted to let you guys know. I'm at Joel Pearl, JOELPEARL. Ladies, gentlemen, friends beyond the binary. We'll see you in the next one. Cheers.